felt God's call in our life early on in life, and we began to prepare ourselves, and God sent us to Ecuador as missionaries. We've been on the mission field for 22 years. My name is Steve Thompson. My wife is Carol, and we are originally from Texas. We did not go as church planters, but shortly after we arrived, God retooled us and reshaped our vision. So we've been church planters for the last 22 years, serving in the central part of the country of Ecuador, South America. In 1995, we began an evangelism project called Un Pez. And as we began to reach up and down the river of the Napo Valley, we were reaching out into new communities of Quechua speakers, and that has converted itself now into a full-fledged camp. In 1999, God led us to start a camp in the area called Chacauco. So when kids come to work with us in camp, so they could be working at the jungle camp or they could be working with us at the mountain camp. We're bringing kids in from the jungle. We've had kids come in from 12 hours away. With Servant Life, we're bringing Servant Life kids in to help us with a children's camp and then with a youth camp. They are utilized, being able to provide for what they need in serving of food. They're also in charge of recreation. We utilize them in our Bible study times to be able to teach and prepare kids in the area of Bible memorization. We do the same out in Chacauco. We have a children's camp and we have a youth camp. The kids come in with an expectation of learning and enjoying being together as youth. So it's a great time to have Servant Life folks there. Now the camps vary because of their settings. The jungle camp is very rustic, but it's a beautiful place. It's a great place just to get to know the Lord and see Him at work. At the mountain camp, it's a little bit more sophisticated. You're still a little bit rustic, but it's not as rustic as the jungle. We have cooler weather in the mountains and then warmer weather out in the jungle. So our focus and our hope and goal is to see kids come to a realization of what Christ can mean in them. Already we've seen a lot of our kids come into camp that have surrendered into full-time Christian service. It's been exciting for us to see them now involved in their local church in a very specific way. Some of the kids that came to camp 5 years ago now are in their early 20s, and they're highly involved. They're actually going on to university and seminary, trying to be trained to come back and work alongside us in the planting of churches. So that's the future that we see of camps. Camps is a great time for kids to take a little bit of time out and listen to what God's saying.